My name is Ross Miner and I am blind. I went blind when I was 8 years old. My mother decided to divorce my father, and so while my brother and I were sleeping, my dad came in the room and shot both of us in the head, and then he committed suicide. And I was left blind and unable to smell, and my brother died from it. Even though I was asleep during the shooting, I was conscious for it, but the brain has a way of blocking out extremely traumatic memories. So as a result of that, I did develop post-traumatic stress disorder. And so for a long time after I went blind, I was really afraid or just kind of skittish or nervous around being with adults. And yeah, I did have to learn how to walk. That was, that was really challenging. Like, it's crazy to think that after I went blind, like, I literally had to drag myself down the hallway. Like, I remember there being like a railing in the hallway, and like I had to use that for support, and it was the biggest task in the world to make it to the end of the hallway. And it's crazy to just think how far I've come since that. I wasn't accustomed to making new friends after going blind. There are a lot of ways that you can make friends as a sighted person, like, oh, let's go play basketball, oh, let's go play soccer, oh, let's go do this or that. Like, I couldn't do a lot of that stuff. Like, a lot of it was just too overwhelming for me at the time. You know, everything that I went through kind of caused me to mature a lot faster mentally and emotionally than a lot of people my age. As I grew up, I became more bitter and angry, and I ended up taking that out on a lot of people who probably meant well, and I would just kind of just lash back at them because I was so angry. It was almost like a recurring theme in my life, is that whenever I had someone good come in my life, like, they would be taken away. Like, so wherever, like my dad or my brother, or like all the schools that I moved to, I'd make one really good friend and then have to move schools. But then in my senior year, you know, I flew up to a camp that I went to frequently called Extreme Mobility, where they do a bunch of extreme sports for blind people. They encouraged me to like kind of share my story there. And I sort of think of my life in 3 different sections, you know, before I went blind, after I went blind, and then after I gave that speech there, because that speech kind of like, I just let all the emotions and troubles that I was having kind of like permeate into my speech, and I was finally able to convey how I actually felt and everything that was going on with me, or everything that was going on in my life. And so after that, I sort of kind of had to break through with everyone at high school, and ever since, my life has just been moving forward in leaps and bounds. You think that someone is doing well, but you just actually don't know, because every person's life, every person that you walk by each day, their lives are infinitesimally more complex than you can actually imagine. My mom is a great person. You know, when I was a kid, like, she was my best advocate. Like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my mom. And so she struggled a lot when we were younger. She would try to be strong for me, but like sometimes, you know, I would be up at night. She would just be wailing and crying, and like, do you even blame her? She lost her first son, and then her other son went blind, and then she was widowed. From all the PTSD she had, it's no wonder that she was feeling like that. She's always had my back. She 100% supported me just packing up, leaving college, and flying up to Colorado to go to the Olympic Training Center. She was pretty much the reason why I joined swimming. Swimming was my passion. Like, water has always been my comfort zone. Like, just the temperature, the feel of it, like the sound, especially the sound. Like, I could listen to the rain all day. I applied to the Olympic Training Center, and I was like, I know that I have room for a lot more potential, and that I'm worth, you know, training and coaching. And so 2 weeks later, I packed up and flew out to Olympic Training Center. And ever since, I've just been there training every single day, and competing at meets. Things that you want badly in life aren't gonna come easy to you. And so if you just be yourself, things will turn out okay for you. I'm just the kind of the person who doesn't go down without a fight. Like, me being stubborn, yeah, it could be a disadvantage, but then a lot of the times, like, me being stubborn has has brought forth some of my greatest achievements. I have become a Paralympic swimmer and I represent the United States of America, and I would say my motto is that it takes pain to grow, that nothing you have in life isn't worth sacrificing for, that it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears to actually accomplish your goals or dream or whatever that may be.